Hello, hello. Welcome for another episode of the Author Spotlight. Hey, it's the host with the motion man, Darren M. Palmer, and I'm going behind the scenes with best-selling authors from across the globe. I have a treat. I have a prize. I have a young lady on here by the name of Nikkie Pryce. I'm going to share a little bit about Nikkie before she come on in her own way. Nikkie is focused on inspiring and motivating people to put action behind their dreams. Being in the media industry and working directly with the public, she has experience with coaching people past their own created limitations. She has earned the title of self-love influencer through her global women's empowerment organization, I Am Community. The community is comprised of dreamers who encourage self-love and self-awareness, starting with I Am affirmations. What all started as a simple journey to finding her own self-love became a phenomenon of connections and solid relationships. Nikkie's published book, Dreamers Take Action, the blueprint to go from dreamer to doer, has changed the lives of dreamers worldwide. If you have breath in your body, you can accomplish your dreams with massive action and strategy. So I just want to welcome you to the show, Nikkie Pryce. Please fill in any of the gaps that I might have left out in your bio.
Thank you so much, Darren, for having me. And I mean, you did a phenomenal job, so I'm all good there. But like he said a little bit about me. So I am a women's empowerment speaker. I am a coach. And I also just help people find themselves on their journey. So pretty much with women, I help them prepare and position for their purpose, and just finding out the things that work for them in this space, in this season. And it all started because I was on a journey of finding out different things about myself. When I became more self-aware, I was able to really connect in and just figure out where I'm going. And the journey has been amazing. So I know we're going to share a little bit more about that a little later. But yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikkie, for sharing that. Now we got to get down to it. You know, Dreamers Take Action. I love the title, but you could have went in a different route. So Nikkie, why that as the first book? Why did you come out with Dreamers Take Action?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, it's funny. When I first got this title, it literally was, I was going through a stage in my life where I was really lacking that self-love that I needed as a woman. And I remember I wanted to pursue certain things. I wanted to be a published author. I wanted to speak and help other people. But I wasn't taking the action that it took to get me to where I wanted to go. So I remember one morning I woke up, I looked in the mirror and I was like, dreamer, take action. But I'm talking to myself and I'm like, you're a dreamer, you have goals, you need to take action. And I just kept saying, dreamer, take action, dreamer, take action. And I was like, whoa, that's like the title of my book. You know, I had to get to a place where as a dreamer, I stopped making excuses for myself. As a visionary, I had to start creating the things that I saw in order to change the world. And I had to literally put myself aside and say, this is what you need to do, not only for your legacy, but for other people, so they can see that they can do it too. You know, I always wanted to do these things, but I didn't have the courage. I didn't believe that I was good enough to be a published author and to travel the world and to speak to women. You know, my story, I didn't think my story was significant enough. But then when I started to realize that I can and I am and I will, I had to just put those things in motion and I had to start doing it. So that's where the title came from. This is actually my book here, Dreamers Take Action. This is my book. And I just literally talk about steps in the book that helps people who were like me, who had a dream and needed to like help to manifest it. So I put in 7 different steps, and it's just a journey. It's a blueprint that helps you to manifest those dreams. So that's where all of it came from. But it really started with me first. I knew I wanted to help people, but I had to help myself first. And once I did that, I was able to accomplish finishing this book.
I'm telling you, she coming in. She's throwing blows already. You know, don't let that little pretty face fool y'all right there. She, you know, the girl over here throwing boxing blows over here. I'm not listening to her like, woo, man. Can you say just ouch? Just say ouch for all of us, because we have to take responsibility for our own lives. And I mean, that's what Miss Pryce has shared with us. She's telling you that, hey, the proof is in the pudding, as my grandmother would say out the South. And that's what you're realizing with her. She's not telling you something that she's heard about. She's telling you something that she actually goes through, that she went through to be able to go past that. She had to come up with some principles, some steps, some things that allow for her to overcome that hurdle as well. So if Nikkie can do it, you can too. And so I really love that, Miss Pryce, because I've shared this on several episodes. And this is the common denominator here. No matter the ethnicity, no matter the gender, no matter what region in the country or what part of the world someone come on here for an interview, I'm hearing a common thing. I share it in this way. I voice it this way. Your pain is your product. The pain of you not taking action, dreamer, allow for you to create a product or a service to empower and encourage others, because there was a tribe that was waiting for Nikki to take action. Yeah. And there's so many others, whether it's a mechanic or someone who has a grooming place for pets, whatever that thing may be for you, is somebody, you have a tribe that's waiting on you. Hey, Lisa Nichols is cool. Oprah, Bill Gates is cool, but there's somebody waiting on you. Do you agree with that, Miss Pryce?
Absolutely. And you know what? I get to coach women now, and I tell them, you know, when they're first starting out, they're like, oh, I only have like 30 followers or 50 or 100 or 500. And I'm like, but those 30 people are 30 people who need to hear your voice. They're following you for a reason. Maybe they're not my tribe. Maybe they're not my community, but maybe they're for you. So what's the message that you're putting out there? And when you're not putting it out there, you got to understand you're risking lives. Like, you're risking other people. Like, we have the ability through our social media, through our influence, to just help people and impact them in a positive way. But we have to take the stand and take initiative and take it seriously. I'll give you a story. Yesterday, I consider myself a leader, of course, because I lead thousands of people across the country. But yesterday I went to the grocery store and I picked up a bag of garlic, right? Like, it was just like the garlic cloves, and I put it in the shopping cart. And so I went down the aisle, and then I saw minced garlic, and I was like, oh, I want minced garlic, right? So I grabbed that, put it in the cart, and then the garlic cloves, I just put it down somewhere. And literally I heard, like, you know, my book of faith, and I'm a believer, but I heard God tell me, that's not cool. You're leaving that there for somebody else to pick it up, and you're a leader. You have to set the standard. And you know what I did? I went back and picked it up, and I put it back in the rightful place. And to some people, that might not be a big deal, but we have to understand that we are leaders. We are change agents. We're the people in the world that people are watching, even when we don't think they're watching. So we have to make sure we're doing our part, and our character, right? Our integrity, our morals is setting the standard, right? Character is that thing that, what do you do when you think nobody's watching you? Because somebody's always watching. You think nobody's watching, but somebody's always watching you. But how are you handling yourself when you feel like nobody's watching you? So I think that's a big deal.
Hey, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
That's
so
real.
You got to keep that in mind. So whether it's garlic, you know, on aisle 5, or whether you're at a corporate event, that's the thing that you have to keep in mind. That, because that is a chain effect. It's a domino effect that now all of a sudden you'll start cutting corners on your working out, cutting corner on your meditation time, cutting corner on your prayer life, cutting corner on your kids or your spouse or your significant other or your business or whatever it may be. And I think you made a great point with that all of us need to look at, like, hey, how can I improve on those small things, because they compound. As the other Darren Hardy tell you, it's the compound effect. Mm-hmm. How you do one thing is how you do everything. You start building that muscle, and you have to make sure that you're creating successful habits. Now, it's one thing for you to know that, hey, I want to write a book, or say I want to write a book, but share with the audience, what made you believe that you could write a book when so many had failed at the task?
Oh, that's a great question, Darren. I feel like, so first of all, let me just be very straightforward. It took me 3 years to finish my first book, right? But now I teach people how to write their book in 90 days. So it's a difference, right? But it took me 3 years. And honestly, I had to literally evolve in that belief. It took time. That's why it took me so long to finish. I knew I wanted it, but I had to really, really want it. I had to really believe it. So I have like this thing where I think about it for myself. It's a 3-step process. And I say, I have to come boldly, I have to believe, and I have to get rid of second thoughts. Like, I have to come boldly and saying, this is what I want. I am going to have this. I'm going to manifest it. And I have to believe that I can do it. And then I have to get rid of any mindset that says, oh, you can't do this, or you're not good enough to do. No, I have to get rid of that so I can really manifest it. So I feel like so many people want to write books, right? But being published is not for everybody. And it's because it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody will have a book, right? It's not an easy task. It almost, as a woman, it almost feels like you're giving birth to something, like you're birthing your book, because it's a process. It's a process that it takes for you to finish. And I honestly have to say, I became who I needed to be for this season of my life from writing my book, right? When I was writing my book, literally, I wrote the book in 30 days, but it took me 3 years to put it out, right? Because I had so many things that was happening in my life. And I have to say, in those 30 days, I learned how to value my time. I learned not to like waste my time on people or things that didn't like help me or wasn't conducive to my growth. And I started to just become who I needed to be in the process for this time. So I feel like the book is just the byproduct, right, of the work. You have to do the work like anything to be able to have it. But I do want people to know it's very hard, and that's why most people quit. But if you know within yourself, deep down inside, that you are good enough to do it, and you're worthy enough to have this, you can have it. But you also need to have accountability partners. You need to have community. You need to have people that's going to call you and say, so when are you finishing that book? Like, I used to get people, like my friends used to call me like, oh, when's your book coming out? I was like, I'll let you know. I'm not sure. But you need people who are going to keep you on your toes, that you have told about writing this book, and they keep you accountable. So I believe, like I said, being published is not for everybody. Having a book is not for everybody. I want everybody to have it, but you have to develop that work ethic to actually do it. And I believe in myself so much in everything that I do that I know I can have this. I just had to create that work ethic to be able to produce it.
I love that. Create that work ethic to be able to produce it. Does your dream aligns with your work ethic? Does your grind match what you want? That's the thing that we got to understand. Everybody want to flaunt, everybody want to floss it out. You know, everybody want to shine. They want to do the things that they want to do, but they don't want to grind. And that's that mindset that so many miss out on, Miss Pryce, what you just shared there. So you're right about that. It's not for everybody, because let's just, you know, we don't want to have an elephant in the room. This is behind the scenes. We're going to be real on this episode.
Yeah.
You want to do a book, but do you want to put the money down for the book?
Come on.
Come on. I ain't no sister. Let's get out of what's all in your spirit and what the Lord told you, what you've been waiting on all these years, or you know it was in you from when you grew up. Do you want to put the money down?
Come on, talk about that.
Do you want to take time? There you go. Invest in yourself. Are you going to be able to turn the housewives off long enough to be able to do it? Are you going to be able to cut off Monday Night Football? I mean, these are the things. Can you start watching, you know, a basketball game or golf, whatever your thing is? You know, I don't know what it is. You might be online poker. I don't know what your thing is, but you're going to have to give up to go up.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You know, you're going to have to give up to go up. And so you're going to have to become a new person. I want to go back to what Ms. Pryce shared with us too as well, because I totally identify with what you shared about the importance of I am who I am now and continue to grow because of what I learned about myself in that book process, who I became during that book process. Every area of my life improved after I did that first book.
Yes.
Because I had to become a closer, had to become able to finish stuff. What I said, I could come up with a great idea, but couldn't go through with it until I got that book done. You know, it helped in every area, in relationships, every area of my life. My business went to a new level. It wasn't just because of the book. It was because of the discipline that I learned while doing the book. So I just want those who are out there to listen, don't just act like what Nikki just shared with us was just, oh, okay, I done heard that before. No, this is real. What you have to become to get a book done, or what you have to become to be an entrepreneur, or to go where you want to go as far as your life and your family, it's going to take a new you to get there. You're not going to get there with the old you.
Yeah.
The dreamer that didn't take action, Nikki wouldn't be on this episode right now. Because Nikki took action to be on this episode right now. And so this is why it's behind the scenes. So we're able to connect, and look, I wouldn't have been able to have the privilege of being able to connect with this wonderful woman here. You wouldn't be able to hear her story or be able to glean from her lessons to implement or apply in your own life if she didn't have the leadership or the tenacity to say, hey, this is an opportunity, let me reach out. And so many of you won't even reach out. You won't even fill out the application. You won't even, see what it is to get a DBA or LLC or whatever it may be. You're limiting yourself because you don't see the value in what you're doing. And speaking of value, give us some tips right now, because you're helping thousands across the globe. Please share with us, how do you find time? What is your hacks, your secrets? How do you create content the way you do with your busy schedule?
Well, you know what? I have to, and I learned this from my coach, just kind of piggybacking on what you're saying about investing in yourself. Guys, this is so important. I wrote in my book, and I talked about the fact that I had like the worst work ethic when it came to what I wanted to do for myself. When it came to working for a company, I could go and execute. But when it came to me, I couldn't do it for myself. So I started so many things, like Darren said, and I never finished them. It's not that I didn't want it, it's that I didn't believe in myself enough to know that I could have it. So I feel like, first off, we need to start with the soul work. Right. I just posted this on Instagram, on my Instagram page, and I said, you can't just change your clothes. You have to change your soul. Like, you have to go on the inside and start pulling out those things that don't serve you. I knew I wanted better, but I had to realize I can't be around certain people all the time. Yeah, those are my friends since childhood. But in order for me to level up, like, I have to start eliminating certain things in my space. So certain friends, the work ethic of saying I'm going to do something, I have to start like keeping my word. If I say I'm gonna do it, I need to do it. Like, my word is all I have. So if I can't like keep my word, that's another thing. Like, I had to start doing the soul work, y'all. Like, this book was just, it took me that long because I was doing the soul work during this time. Like, I could have been finished in 90 days, but I had to go inside so it can start showing on the outside. So I want to encourage you guys, like, sometimes you want to do something, and when it comes to investing in yourself, when it comes to putting those TV shows aside, when it comes to just focusing on writing, if your coach is telling you to write your book, put in 30 minutes a day to writing a book, you got to start doing that. But you have to prepare yourself and position yourself for your purpose. Like, finishing the book will be a part of your purpose. So you have to prepare. And I want to encourage you that you can do it, but you just have to change your mindset. You got to go within and get all those things, those roadblocks, those obstacles out of your way, because sometimes it's all about self-sabotaging. You are self-sabotaging yourself, and you are doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to everybody who needs your story. And that's something I had to learn too. Just this weekend, I went to a training in Atlanta with my coach, and I just got certified in speaking and coaching. And he told me that, Nikki, you have to go deeper. I think for me, I was sharing my story, but I had to like pull out that place of vulnerability. And I had to realize that I'm vulnerable now. And that's the thing that makes me strong. The things that I've been through in the past are the things that make me strong. So what's your story? What's the thing that you need to share with people? And what are you going to eliminate and put aside when it comes to putting your story out there? We need your story. We need the things you have on the inside of you. We need all of that. I just had to touch on that because you went in just down there. And so I had to like encourage the people. But I feel like for me right now is just creating I have my systems in place. So I've been told, like, I'm the type of person, I'm very independent, and I like to feel like I can do everything, and I really can't.
No. I would have never guessed that, Nikki. I would have never guessed that about you, girl. But go ahead, since you're being so transparent right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got to just keep it real, right? My coach said you got to start keeping it real. So yeah, I feel like I can do everything, and then I get burnt out, and then I can't do nothing. So then I want to take like a self-care month and take off the whole month. And my coach was like, no, you don't do that. So I had to figure out what works for me in this season. So systems are so important. Business is just systems and processes. That's all it is. Like, you just set this stuff up and let it just run for itself. But I feel like I had to also start implementing more of myself into my brand, so people can know, like, and trust me. Like, they can only know, like, and trust me when I'm being honest about who I am. And I want to expand my influence and impact, so I had to start doing that. So I feel like the biggest thing, number one, is just being myself, being authentic and being honest. And then also setting up my systems and processes, knowing when it's okay to ask for help. Like, hey, by the way, can you help me out? That really, really makes a huge difference.
I love that, Nikki. I mean, girl, you knocking it out the park. I'm over here like, man, she's preaching to the choir over here. I mean, this is like we've been in the same room with each other, and I'm just now meeting you today. But if anybody who knows me, this is what I practice and preach all the time. And I want to go back and you know, and we're gonna have to do another segment or something
Oh
with us
yeah.
going in because um, I can't leave without talking about this point that you brought up. How many of us, like you said, that the book isn't for everybody, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That leadership position at your company might not be for you because if your mind isn't right, it doesn't matter about how talented you are. So the great point that Nikki brought out was you can go work for somebody else and get up and be on time. But when it's time for you to work for yourself, you won't even get up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what kind of sense does that make? And I've witnessed that growing when I first stepped out into entrepreneurship. The previous company we used to work at, that get up, had to be up 4:30, they had to be there like around 6:30 or something, doing some shift work or whatnot. Was able to clock in, whole nine. Working for yourself, sleep in, stay up, sleep in about 10, 11, get up. The day is gone. You
Mm-hmm.
lost the whole day. And so I think that point right there that Nikki brought up, I want to bring that home because those who are listening, it's not that you're a bad person.
Mm-mm.
It's not that you don't have a good heart. It's not that you wasn't called to do what you were called to do, but you can't get outside of this. And it's not church this up, but I got a pastor, a leader who shared with me. He said that preparation precedes blessings.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prepare for where you're going and align yourself for the move that's happening, whatever that might be, whether that's digital marketing, whether it's being a speaker, a live coach, if you're trying to be, move up the chain in waste management. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The preparation leads for the blessing because if you're not prepared, you're going to miss out on that opportunity. If you're not saving, when everybody say, hey, everybody who got 100 grand, we got this great opportunity, can you take part? It didn't mean that you was a bad person. You just hadn't prepared. So when that opportunity came for exponential growth in your finances or in your net worth, you couldn't take advantage of that moment. So that's what we call here the OC. And I'm not talking about Orange County, California, my friend. I'm talking about the opportunity cost. The law of gravity exists whether you want to believe it or not. If I jump off the tallest building in your city, Nikki, you're going to see it on the nightly news. So that's where I have these systems and things that Nikki is sharing with us are imperative for you, no matter what form, whether you're in business, whether you work for somebody, if you're just trying to be in better health or have a better relationship. Don't get this confused. Your system might be that date night.
Mm-hmm.
Your system might be that board game that you play with your kids, or stopping by to see that family friend or loved one in the local nursing home or whatever that might be, or serving for your nonprofit or whatever charity or your church or whatever affiliation you have with a civic organization. It doesn't matter. But you got to have systems in place that's taking care of the total man or total woman. And so, Nikki, going along with that right there, could you share with us what has been give us some of the highlights of you being an author, whether it's being on podcasts, whether it's family, friends, and loved ones showing love or opportunities. Could you share what it meant to others or feedback that you got by you being a published author?
Oh my gosh, yes. I can't even begin to explain the amount of like literal miracles that have happened for me because I finished. And I realized that during those 3 years, I had so much opposition because of the blessing that this book was to be. So I realized that first of all, it took me 3 years to finish this book, and I had so many obstacles. 2016, July 24th, 2016, I actually lost my mother to cancer. And this was during the time I was writing the book. And of course, that hit me so hard. And it's like, how am I supposed to finish a book when I just lost my mother to cancer? And I believe that death does one or two things, right? The first thing it had to do is either isolate you and put you in a place that makes you afraid and you won't do anything, or it'll give you this adrenaline to go and remember that life is short. And I end up getting number two. I realized that, you know what, my mom didn't get to finish certain things, but I get an opportunity. I'm still here. So I need to finish this. So when I finished, Darren, no lie, like immediately when the book came out, I got so many opportunities to speak. I became a coach. I didn't even know I was a coach all this time. The language wasn't coach. I was always helping people. But I became a coach when the book came out. People were like hitting me up on Instagram, like, do you coach? I need help with this. This was your book was talking about. And it started opening up doors and unfolding who I was in this new space. So the book was just, like I said, it was just a key to unlock the door to speak. I always wanted to be a speaker. I always wanted to help people, but I had to position myself, right? Prepare by finishing the book. And then my purpose is now coaching, teaching, facilitating workshops. I just recently did a workshop with the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders, and it all came, number one, from my book and also from social media, my brand. I'm literally who I am as far as who I described in the book. That's what I show on my social media. And it came from that, the opportunity came from that. So I want you to know doors will open for you. You just have to finish, because again, not everybody could finish their book. But I do want to go back and talk about when I said the book isn't for writing a book isn't for everybody. I still agree with that, but I feel like maybe it's not your season. Sometimes we got to understand the seasons we are in life. I feel like I was always destined to be a published author, right? But it took me 3 years, guys, like 3 whole years to finish. It wasn't my season when I first finished that book in 30 days. My season was going to come at the right time and at the right opportunity. But guess what? I prepared by writing my manuscript. I prepared by simply just writing my manuscript. And that's how I prepared. And I positioned myself to be a published author by what? Looking for a graphic designer, finding a publisher, finding somebody to edit my manuscript. I position myself, and now my purpose is I'm walking in that now. I'm showing up by speaking and coaching and teaching. So understand that you have to just prepare by doing your part. If you want to be a published author, you can be on this side with us. Like, you can sit with us. That's okay. You can sit with us. But guess what? Prepare now by writing. You can do 5 pages a day. Literally give yourself 5 pages a day to finish this book. If you want 150 pages, you can write that in 30 days. 5 pages a day. You're good. And you can finish that, but you have to start taking it little by little. But you have to show even your coach or people around you that you're trying. And show yourself that you're trying, and you deserve to have it. You can have it, but you got to do the work. That's it. Like, you're not getting this without doing the work. Like, you got to do the work. You have to do the work, and that's where it comes from. So I really believe that just understanding that you can, you will, and you can have these things, but you have to prepare and position yourself for your purpose.
Man, that's it. Position yourself. As the great Alicia Keys say, that girl is on fire. I'm telling you right now, the girl is on fire right now. So I just want to just give you the opportunity. You shared some information, but please share. How can they connect with you? Share product, services, whatever you have. Just let us know what you have, and so they can reach out to you. And I will make sure that we also put the information in the show notes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So you guys can check out my website, NikkiePryce.com. I'll spell it for you, because if you spell it wrong, it's going to take you to a whole different site. That's not me. I'm just letting you know now. People were like, oh, this ain't you. I was like, yeah, that's not me. So it's spelled NikkiePryce.com. I'm not even going to tell you what that other website is. But
yeah, I will keep the game on it. I was just like,
yeah. Don't go looking that up, child.
Yeah, wrong site. Like, they be like, oh my God, who did Darren have on the show? I was like, yeah. Now the other Nikkie Pryce, the other Nikkie, girl.
It's not me. So yeah, get the correct spelling. NikkiePryce.com. I also have my global women's empowerment community for any women who need support on their journeys, whether it's writing a book or whether it's just self-love, personal development, professional development. We have this amazing community where we encourage each other and we help each other on this journey. We cannot do this alone. I realized that with community has helped me through the darkest and toughest days of my life, when I could just reach out to somebody who supports me and has my back. So you need community, and this is why we have, and I started this community, and it's amazing. We have women in different countries that we are helping. Yeah, that's me. That we are helping. I
got the right one up there. Want to put the right one out there. Put the disclaimer out there. Yeah, that's it. That's how it's supposed to look. If you see something else, then that's not the right place.
That ain't it, right? And in my social media, I am Nikkie Pryce. You guys can follow me, and I'd love to connect with you guys on social media.
Awesome. Well, Nikkie, it's been a pleasure having you on today. I'm so excited about this episode. I know that the audience has gained tremendous knowledge by having you on, and they can go on to conquer and slay the giants in their lives. So I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. But before you leave, speak to that young lady out there, or that seasoned woman who might feel like their life has passed them by. They might be a grandparent or whatnot, or they might be retired, or a young lady who say, I haven't lived enough, but they know they have a story that they want to share, but they look into themselves and say, you know what? I'm not Lisa Nichols. You know what? I'm not Oprah Winfrey. I'm not Carlos Slim or Warren Buffett. Why would anybody want to hear my story? Could you share with them? Because they have the work ethic, they have the drive. Could you share with them the importance of sharing their story with the world?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I want to really say, when you don't share your story, like I said, you're really doing a disservice to others. And I was that person. I was doing a disservice to others because I wasn't being 100% real and authentic. I was giving people bits and pieces because I was afraid of vulnerability. I was afraid that if people got too close to me, they were able to like hurt me or able to make me feel insignificant. But I had to get over that. I got over that by a coach. I had to hire somebody to help me take the scales off my eyes so I can see what I'm doing for other people and the impact I'm making. So I want you to know that your story is so important. It's almost like we have this huge puzzle and each person has their own piece, right? If I try to put my piece in your spot, it won't fit. You have to put your own piece in your spot because you're significant and you matter. Your story is important. And you may not be an Oprah, you may not be a Lisa Nichols. I'm not a Lisa Nichols or Oprah. I'm Nikkie Pryce. I'm myself. So you have to embrace yourself. And I think it goes back to self-love and understanding your worth and your value to the world, and understand that God created you to just be significant all by yourself. You don't need no help being significant and being awesome. So I want you to embrace that. And I want you to execute by taking action so you can see the results of your life. Not just for you, but you got to remember in life, like my coach always says, we're playing the long game. It's all about legacy. Some people are going after the money right now. Don't go after the money. The money sometimes is the last thing that comes. You got to position yourself for your legacy. How do you want your last name to look? When people, like when I'm gone, when I go to heaven to be with Jesus, guess what? This book is still going to be available on Amazon. Like people still will be able to buy this. This is legacy building that I'm doing. So when it's time for you to leave this earth, what have you left for this earth to be like, I know what she did and she changed my life. You know, sometimes you can change people simply by an Instagram post. You'd be surprised. Something you just put out there. So understand that people are watching you. We need your voice. We need your story. What you've been through is different from me. But we all need each other. We all need community, and we need your story. So please don't.
Hey, you hear Nikki? Go ahead. So please don't what, Nikki? We didn't hear the last part.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was I don't know. What part
You
did you
said
hear?
please don't stop your story or whatnot. I guess
Yeah,
this
like just put the story out there. We need your story. We need you. We need to hear what you have to say. What you've been through is not what I've been through. It's two different things. So just put it out there so other people could be healed and they can get what they need just because you chose to stand in your truth and be honest about where you've been.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm telling you, if you didn't get nothing out of this episode, something's wrong with you. And so I mean, I wanted to really say that. I mean, it's if you implement what Nikki has shared with us on this show, I guarantee you that you're going to see some, big changes in your life. You're going to be some of those goals that seem like that, that you couldn't make it, or they just kept just slipping through your hands or whatnot. You had that oasis in the desert mentality when it comes to some of these goals. If you implement some of the stuff that she shared today on this episode, I guarantee you that your life will go to the next level. But don't just take my word for it. Connect with Nikki. Yes. She has her information. We're going to have it in the show notes. Make sure that you seek her out. Seek out wise counsel or whatnot. Also, she shared too, and I want to just put this out there. She shared too, she has programs. And so you got to operate from the area of abundance. She can help you get your book out. We might not be able to help you get your book out. It might not be a good fit, but Nikki has services too. So make sure that you look at her and see what she can do for you, her and her company. But the key is that we're saying we want people to be helped. If it's helped by us, if it's helped by somebody else, we operate by the mindset of abundance. There's over 7.6 billion people out here. And we want to stand in the gap and let you know this is the power of partnership.
Yes.
Two different brands, two different people, but the goal is the same. How can we add value and create legacy? And that's what this is all about. And so that's what I'm here for. That's why I want to take time out to share about Nikkie's services. Make sure she did really go into it, but make sure you seek her out on if she can do something for you. If we can help, we would love to help. But the main thing is we want you to get it done. If you don't deal with none of us, get your story shared, accomplish your goals, live big, dream big, and keep taking action. So Nikki, thank you again. I really want to appreciate you for coming on. And we're going to have to connect some more. I'm going to get your information offline or whatnot so we can connect on some other things. I know I'm going to have to get you on at least a conference or something else with me where we can connect and help more people.
I love that. Thank you so much, Darren. And thank you guys for watching and being present and showing up for yourself. This is the first step. You are already halfway there.
There you go.
And we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
There you go. There you go. And remember that this is the year for your new book. Until next time, be blessed and be great.